Loose change for getting down. It's Friday and I'm on fire, and I know that I'll break your heart, and I'm sorry, I'm just so tired. These cars are just it, so won't you come?
Suzanne's Paparazzi Jewelry, 24/7 shopping available. 160920 is the code. Show her some love, like she showed us.
Welcome everyone to another episode of Between the Ropes.
What's going on? Yeah, what's going on? You're watching the Coast to Coast Entertainment Network. I am Ace, and let me tell you, the future is bright. The future is bright. You know why? With trips involved, you never know what the heck's going to happen. Trips. All right, well, let me welcome into you our panel for this evening. We'll go ahead and we'll start out with Mr. Mess Around Dave. How are you doing tonight, my man?
I'm great. I can't wait to talk about SummerSlam, especially the main event, which, in my opinion, saved the whole card. I mean,
You know
it was
what?
good.
Yeah,
It was
It was
good.
good.
But that was the best match on the card. We'll talk about that later.
Oh, dude. Woo. Man, that main event was killer, dude.
It was.
That one was killer. All right. Chris Spee, how you doing tonight?
Doing good. That pay-per-view or premium event was really good. It was probably the best one in a while, but we'll cover it all here later throughout the show.
Oh, yeah. And then, of course, the EST, how you doing tonight?
I'm good. Ready to talk SummerSlam. This was a better SummerSlam than I thought it was going to be.
Well, it's like I said, okay, so to start out with the one thing that I wanted to mention right off the bat is because, yeah, people were very, very pleased with SummerSlam. They said that Trips did a great job, which, you know, he did. He did a great job. I know he kind of followed a little bit of what Vince was doing before he left, but he added in quite a bit of stuff and changed a few things around. The future is bright. And for people, and I'm not saying it's anybody on this panel, I'm just saying for people that were expecting it to be a 100% change over a week's time, come on, man. It's going to take it's going to take a little bit of time for him to build back up. It's not going to be you can't expect him to come in and just automatically be like, boom, this is changing, boom, this is changing, boom, boom, boom. No, it takes a little bit of time. It's going to take time.
Trust the process.
Trust the process. I'm super excited about it. So Mess Around, starting out with you at this one, I just have a question for you. Would you say right now with Trips running creative, the future's definitely bright after what you saw at SummerSlam?
Hold on a second. The
Okay.
future is so bright. You're going to have to put on your shades, brother. That's how bright the future is for WWE. And Tony
Right.
Khan and the rest of AEW should be scared shitless because it is about to go down.
Trips, I'm so happy for Trips. Okay, now I don't know if you also heard he wants to take a little bit of what he did with NXT before, and he wants to blend this NXT 2.0 and go back to a little bit of the black and gold. And I was like, whoo! So it's going to be a mixture of a little bit of black and gold and NXT 2.0. The future is definitely bright. I do want to start out with, I think for a few of us, I think one of the biggest shockers was, for me personally, what was not only Bayley, But the reason why, to me, Dakota Kai was a shocker because she wasn't even under contract and she was released, and then all of a sudden her music hits, and I was like, that was a Triple H thing. That he was immediately like, we're bringing you back, we're gonna re-sign you, and we're doing this.
He did come out and he said that we're gonna fix a lot of the mistakes that were made in the last 12 months. So and that may have been one of them.
Yep. And
I will tell you that was one of because the Bailey and the Dakota Kai thing were like well hidden things, that because there was like no speculations of.
We kind of figured, maybe not totally, but we kind of knew Bailey was looming somewhere.
We knew that she would come back at some point. My thing was I kept thinking, I'm like, are they saving her for the Rumble? Was she going to come back at the Rumble? Was she going to come back at SummerSlam? And she ended up coming back at SummerSlam. I don't know about you guys, but when I heard her music, I was super stoked. I was like, I
knew it. Like I was telling Chrissy and Crispy before the show, after the match ended, I looked at my son and I said, "Hey Dave," and he goes, "What?" And I said, "Ding dong, hello." And then Bailey came out. He's like, "How did you know?" I'm like, "I don't know. I just had a feeling." And this is the thing, like whether or not we don't know if this had been prior planned for Bailey to return at SummerSlam. We don't know that. So we don't know if Triple H came back and said, "Hey, we're bringing you back like right now. You've been out for a while. We're going to bring you back now. We want to make a splash, so we're bringing you back." Now we do know that the rumors were surrounding saying that the idea was pitched for Bailey, Io, and Dakota Kai to kind of start their little stable, but it was shot down. Vince was like, "No, I'm not doing that." Right.
And then Triple H is like, "Oh, it's happening," and then he made it happen.
Gave the thumbs up on that one.
Oh yeah, so that's actually, I was like really really excited about that. So I was glad to actually see them back. So congrats for Bailey for being back. Congrats for Dakota Kai. Congrats for Io Shirai getting called up, because we actually haven't seen her since Stand and Deliver. Since like right before Mania, we haven't seen her do anything. And last we knew of Io Shirai, all the rumors were like running rampant, saying that she was her contract was expiring. She was going back to Japan because she didn't want to stay in WWE, unless she was going to get called up. And the next thing we know, Triple H is like, "You're not going back. We're gonna bring you in." Yep. We're going to bring you in. So the women's division just got a heck of a lot better.
Now just need to see Naomi and
those three, Bailey, Dakota, Io Shirai, they're good. They're all good.
Yeah, and this is the interesting thing. And I got into like this little comment war in a Facebook group because and the only reason I said that was because I was like, "Oh, look, Io's back and Bailey's back and Dakota Kai's back." I was like, the women's division just picked up. And then the guy's like, "So you're telling me that 3 superstars divas who get brought back to WWE is makes that division better?" And I'm like, "You just said it yourself. Superstars. It makes it better." And he goes, No, it doesn't. They're just 3 women. I'm like, "No, they're superstars. Like that's what it is.
For a reason.
They're big names. They're big names. Like you may not know if you don't watch a lot of NXT. Yeah, you may not know Io Shirai, but she's well known in Japan. She's well known there. She's well known. I mean, if you watch WWE, you have to know who freaking Io Shirai is.
Definitely.
You have to know who Dakota Kai is.
Yep.
I mean,
was she the one that came out as like a superhero at first? Like
Dakota Kai?
Yes, she was not Dakota Kai. Io Shirai. Like she was like a martial arts.
I remember her entrance. She used to come out. She wore a mask, and then she would take it off.
Yeah.
She's definitely inspired. Definitely was inspired by. Definitely, I think she cites Rey Mysterio as one of her wrestling influences, and even does the 619 herself.
Yeah.
So.
Booyaka, 619.
Big B, how you doing, Big B?
Big B.
What's up, guys?
What's up, Big B? How's it
So
going?
what are we talking about?
We were just talking
SummerSlam.
about Bailey, Io Shirai and Dakota Kai.
I don't know if you guys got the feeling, but when Becky got back in there, I thought for sure she was going to jump Bianca, and then they were going to form. And they were going to form a women's 4 horsemen type stable. That's what I thought, but I'm glad she did it.
Directly at Bailey and called her a bitch.
Yeah. I think what's so interesting about this though too is now look, you have a stable now, which I'm curious exactly what they're gonna call themselves. So I really want to know the name on that. Now we have
Control after the Janet Jackson song.
Now we have a Becky Lynch face turn, and then we have a Ronda Rousey heel turn. So it's been. I saw that look, Christy, but I'll tell you, Ronda needs to be heel. Like that.
I know.
Yeah, for sure.
Like the way
her character shows that she should be heel. She should not be a face. She should definitely be heel. It just. That's the kind of vibe you get from her. But we can start out with the Becky Lynch and Bianca Belair match. It was the right choice. It was the right pick to start the show with. Definitely the right match, especially since you're bringing 3 people in after the match. So that's why it was such a good way to start. But did it really shock any? The thing is, though, was it surprising that he had them come back there, or were you kind of, because Bayley's kind of been SmackDown a lot, so I was kind of expecting her to like return on like with Liv Morgan and Ronda.
When she made her main roster debut, it was on Raw.
Yeah, but
I've heard rumors before SummerSlam that I guess they had inside scoop. I don't know, but she was going to be exclusive only to Raw. On her return,
which wouldn't bother me, wouldn't shock me, because they can definitely use it on Raw. But anyways, mess around. Becky Lynch and Bianca match. The match was exactly what we thought it was going to be. It was two of the best women wrestlers in WWE going at it.
Yeah, it was a banger match. Like every time those two get together, they put on a good match. So I knew it was going to be good from the beginning. I had Becky Lynch winning. Of course, it didn't go that way, but despite that, it's still a good match. I thought after Becky hit the manhandle slam and didn't get 3 count, I'm like, oh, it's Bianca, she's going to win it, and then she did. So, but the fireworks really began after the match when like we already talked about, 3 women came back.
See, I seriously, the only reason why I picked Bianca in this match, because I knew that since she had just basically gotten the belt, I figured I couldn't see a reason why they would be like, yeah, we're going to take it off of you now. So, Crispy, your thoughts?
No, I mean, it was a good match. I had Bianca winning this match. Yeah, she had the belt put on just recently at WrestleMania, but also she lost it last year at SummerSlam against Becky Lynch, and it was in, I guess you can say, her home state, so they couldn't do that to her twice, and she already lost it once before, this year in Tennessee, so that's how I felt about it.
Right. Yeah, it definitely wasn't going to be one of those 30-second matches. I can tell you that. Definitely wasn't going to be that. All right, Christy, how about you?
I had Bianca winning this, and I'm glad she did because it made everything just come full circle for her after losing her title at SummerSlam last year. And I figured she was going to retain because she'd only gotten it back at WrestleMania, and then I think she's now going to be feuding with Bayley now that Bayley's back with Dakota Kai and Io Shirai.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Big B.
Yeah, I mean, you started out by saying this was the perfect way to start SummerSlam, which I agree, but they had 2 matches they could have started with. I think they could have started with the Theory Lashley match, but I think the best match, they definitely started right. Mm-hmm. The match itself, I mean, it was good. I liked it. I'm glad Bayley won. would not have been
Bailey?
upset.
What?
Bailey.
Yeah, Bailey on his mind.
Yeah.
We're all talking about Bailey.
Belair. The hair. Belair, the hair. So
No,
no, I'm glad she won. I would have been okay with Becky winning. And then with the girls coming out, I think they could have done it, and I'm surprised they didn't do it on both of the women's matches to have them kind of come out and be like, okay, who are we going to side with, or are we going to be SmackDown, or are we going to be Raw? So, I'm kind of surprised they didn't kind of throw that curveball at us. But, like Dave said, the fireworks kind of started off at the end there when the girls came out.
And
Nate, we'll get to that later. The casting did not count.
yeah, and that's one of those questions, Nate. I was gonna answer that for you. I was gonna say absolutely not. It does not count because the bell must ring in order for it to be classified as cashing in, and the bell did not ring, so therefore that's why it did not count.
The ref also did not get the briefcase that he announced, so she could announce the theory was cashing in.
Yeah,
Exactly. I
So
was going to say that, yeah.
so
The
it did
referee
not
has to-
count for that sole reason right there.
Would've
So
had to.
with that though, we all agreed that it was a good match. My takeaways from this match now is that looking ahead to Clash of the Castle, I'm thinking that 2 matches are going to happen at Clash of the Castle just from this right here. Number 1, I think it's going to be Bianca versus Bailey for the championship, and then I believe Becky is going to actually end up teaming with Asuka to take on Dakota and Io Shirai, and I do feel like this is where, because I do have a feeling that they might start picking up the women's tag team titles again. So I feel like maybe at Clash of the Castle, this is where you get the finals between Becky and Asuka versus Dakota and Io.
Yeah.
So
I can see that.
Should be exciting.
my predictions, that's one of my predictions right there. So
That would be fire.
yeah, I could see Becky and Asuka actually making a team now because they're both face and she's going to need somebody to team with her.
Yeah. It's probably going to be one of the storylines where Asuka's skeptical of Becky because of their rivalry in the past.
Yeah.
But then they build up trust
Definitely.
as time goes on.
So Amy said hi too. So hey, Amy. So let's go to the next one. I'm not really following any particular order. I'm just kind of throwing out matches that are coming up in my head. But so we'll go to Logan Paul versus Miz.
Yes.
Now I will tell you, Logan Paul has actually impressed
Yes.
me. He really has
Yeah.
been quite impressive. I was not expecting him to be as impressive as he has been, but he's actually showing me, like, personally, I will say that he may have a future if he wanted to. I believe he could actually be a full-time wrestler if he wanted
He is
to.
a full-time
He's got-
wrestler.
Maybe.
And Nate, to answer your question, that's already set in stone for Clash of the Castle. Drew is already going against Roman at the Clash of the Castle. It's
Yeah,
already
we
there.
found that
So
out.
his gut feeling was right.
Yeah, so his gut feeling's right because it's already set. All right, so
Boy, you
Messer-
must have watched SmackDown to figure that one out.
Yeah.
so
All it took was
Messer,
SmackDown for that to be solidified.
tell me, Logan Paul and Miz. Did Logan Paul impress you in this match too?
Yeah, this is the one I really want to talk about besides the main event. He was the most impressive thing about the whole SummerSlam because I was not expecting him. I mean, he showed a little bit at WrestleMania what he can do, but the things he did at SummerSlam, man, this guy's got a future.
He does, like,
he did sign his contract.
yeah, but the
Long
funny thing
term.
about it was like everybody, there was actually quite a few people that when he signed his contract, like, everyone laughed because they thought it was funny, and then I see him wrestling. I'm like, well, I don't think it's so funny now. Like, people are actually seeing how talented he actually is. So it's not like, oh shoot, we actually have a celebrity that can actually frickin' wrestle. So
Yeah.
very, very impressive to me. I was okay that he won. I would have been okay with the Miz winning too. It wouldn't have
I
mattered.
really liked how he used the skull crushing finale to win too.
Right?
Yeah.
That was like the icing on the cake.
That's the part that wowed me the most.
Yeah.
Somebody-
The thing is though, like, I was
Using
really
his own
curious.
finisher on him.
Yeah, I was really curious though to see what his finisher was going to be. So,
Right.
once he hit the skull crushing finale, I'm like, oh, are we going to actually see what his finisher is going to be? And then we didn't see it. I'm like, oh man, so we don't get to see what his finisher is.
But how embarrassing to get beat with your own move.
Exactly.
A couple of your own moves. A few of your
Right,
own
that's
moves.
pretty
Oh.
big. All right,
Logan Paul also did use the
By
phenomenal
a
forearm
guy
on the Miz too.
By a guy that quote unquote doesn't belong in your world.
right. Doesn't belong here. All right, Crispy, your thoughts on Logan Paul and Miz?
Was AJ Styles, I say. It was a phenomenal match. 'Cause
Ooh.
he made an appearance briefly, but it was a good matchup. He hit the top rope onto the commentator's table. Logan Paul did, and got rid of Miz from there, and then you had Ciampa who got removed from this situation, and it wasn't a bad match. Logan Paul showed some wrestling moves.
They don't want none. They don't want none.
You know.
All right, Christy.
That was a really good match. Logan Paul impressed me. I'm like, he can't be this good in this quick amount of time. It just isn't possible. And he's doing phenomenal forearm. He did the skull crushing finale.
Right.
He pretty much countered Miz on everything. And then AJ Styles comes in and beats up Tommaso Ciampa.
Don't forget about that Swanton bomb he hit too on the.
Oh yeah,
top
because
rope.
that's definitely. I think that Logan Paul is just a huge wrestling fan. And he seems just really eager to learn. I mean, even learning other people's moves in the ring so he can use them himself. I'm like,
It's
Wow.
funny. Somebody left a comment about Dominic Mysterio. It wasn't on here, but after the match, they're like, "Is that bad that Logan Paul is better than Dominic Mysterio already?"
I saw that. Yeah.
I was like, that's
geez,
kind of-
maybe I don't know. Maybe Logan Paul should have hit Miz with the 619. I don't know.
I was like, that's kind of funny. He's only been in 2 matches, and everyone's like, he's already better than Dominic Mysterio.
Yeah.
Here's the question for you: Who's the better celebrity wrestler, Bad Bunny or Logan Paul?
Logan Paul.
Logan Paul.
Even though I like Bad Bunny.
Bad Bunny was good. He was impressive, but I have to go with Logan
Yeah.
Paul.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
For
I'd
sure.
like to see Logan Paul do a Canadian Destroyer better than Bad Bunny did at WrestleMania last year.
Bad Bunny was impressive though. Don't get me wrong.
Oh,
but
yeah.
Logan Paul is just
Right.
Yeah, he definitely was. Big B.
Yeah, no, I mean, after Logan Paul's WrestleMania match, I mean, yeah, expectations were still high. I can't believe, like you guys said, what he's doing in what we consider a short amount of time. And we don't know how much work he's put in behind the scenes, and he's got the boxing background, so he's fit. I mean, he knows his way around the ring.
Oh, that was cool. That was cool too. Speaking of the boxing, where you dip in and trying to dodge everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe with AJ interfering and getting Ciampa out of there, maybe we see a little tag team match coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Paul, AJ versus Ciampa and Miz. Who knows? But yeah, no, it definitely was a great match.
Well, I think where everybody's going from though with this though on the Logan Paul thing is that a lot of times, especially with like celebrities when they come in and wrestle, you don't see them do flips and stuff off the top rope like you're seeing Logan Paul do. So I know as far as like the training, I'm sure he's been doing it for a while, but I think to me that's why it really impresses me is because a lot of these celebrities you see come in, they don't do things like that. And he's already
I said it
onto
last,
someone on the commentary desk.
right?
I said it last Sunday. They couldn't have put him in with a better guy. The Miz. It's gonna make him look good, gonna protect him. And hats off to the Miz for doing just that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So Nate is saying, who does it better? Is it Logan Paul doing a skull crushing finale, or Riddle doing an RKO?
I like Riddle doing an RKO.
I prefer Riddle doing an RKO. It looks cool.
It's Riddle, that RKO off the ladder.
Oh god.
Oh my god.
So good.
That was awesome.
That was awesome.
That was awesome.
The thing with the RKO, it could come out of nowhere. The Skull Crusher finale, I mean, you pretty much have to set it up the same way every time.
Yeah,
Right.
You know, so
And an RKO, you just never know where it's coming from.
yeah,
yeah.
exactly. The RKOs just come out of nowhere. Yeah, well, yeah, because Logan Paul, they even said it at SummerSlam that he was being trained by AJ Styles.
Yeah,
Oh, I must have missed that. I didn't know that.
Yeah, yeah. They said
Okay.
it during.
Cool.
Yeah, they said it during SummerSlam that he was being trained by AJ
That probably
Styles.
explains why Logan Paul did the phenomenal forearm when he did, is because AJ helped teach him how to do it.
Yeah.
And you saw
Well,
on
maybe
Raw-
Dominic needs to be trained by AJ Styles too.
Well, then you saw
Something.
on Raw.
Yeah,
you saw
it
on
wouldn't
Raw
be a
with
bad
that
idea.
Rock and AJ Styles and
Yeah.
Logan Paul, so maybe they're gonna form like you said, Ace, like a tag team.
Oh yeah, yeah.
format.
It could definitely be a tag team. So we can jump into our next one, which is Bobby Lashley versus Theory.
That was a quick match.
And Big B, I was kind of curious because you said that you felt like they could have opened with this match. So I kind of
You know, they could have opened it, kind of had everybody speculating that okay, maybe he's going to, do the run in at the main event. I thought it was a pretty decent match. I mean, I think we kind of all were teasing that we wanted Theory to win and then cash in and become 3 belts Theory. But I think we all kind of knew Bobby Lashley was going to retain. I did think Theory might win, but by DQ, by using the briefcase. So, but I thought they could have opened with this. But I mean, I still think they made the right call on opening up with the women's match. Overall, though, good match.
Yeah. My takeaway in this one too is that I think that Lashley is going to end up. I don't know why. Something tells me that he's going to have a match at the Clash of the Castle. It's going to be a fatal 4-way. I think that somehow there's going to be 4 guys.
Where's 3 other opponents? That's what I'm curious about.
I don't know.
Could have
I
some
really thought
qualifiers.
I
don't know.
really thought about that yet. I think Kevin Owens is going to be one of them. I just think it's going to end up being a fatal 4-way. It's just my prediction. All right. Mess around. Bobby Lashley versus your boy Theory.
So I'm watching this match with my son. And he's like, you know what, Dad? This is gonna be a squash match. Theory's gonna win, or not Theory, but Lashley's gonna squish him and win real quick. It didn't actually go that way. It actually was longer than I thought it was gonna be, but he wasn't wrong. I mean, Lashley dominated most of the match,
Right.
so my son wasn't really wrong. But I don't know. I just knew that I wanted Theory to get the 3 belts, like Brandon said. We all wanted to see it. I picked Lashley because I just thought he just got the title. There's no way they're going to take it off him that soon. So I'm with you. I think maybe he gets into the title match.
I think what's so funny though, when you think about it, mess around, is I think back to Raw when Roman was like, "Well, you don't know what to do with that thing anymore because your daddy is
Daddy's gone.
Your daddy isn't here anymore."
Yeah, that was awesome.
I was like, dude, that was such an epic promo right there. I
Yeah.
love that. Your daddy isn't here anymore.
Yeah.
I was like,
Daddy's gone. What now, bitch?
I was like, that was great. All right, Chris, your thoughts
Yeah.
on Lashley and Theory?
It was a good match. I thought Theory was going to come out at least with one title, and it would have been this one.
It sounds like you're far away, Chris. We can't really hear you very well.
I thought it was going to be Theory winning it, but
What?
I did, because I thought he was going to win one belt and then try to cash in, but ultimately lose, although he did kind of lose, but he never cashed in, so, I mean, kind of went that way, but I think you're going to see Bobby Lashley and Brock Lesnar clash at the Castle. They have unfinished business.
I will get into that whole thing later because I will honestly tell you I think this is it for Brock. I don't think you ever see him in the ring again. I don't think you do.
I'm
think
with
this
you
is
on
it.
that. I was thinking the same thing.
I think because of what happened when the show went off the air, I think that's it for him. I think he's done.
Oh,
Oh my
I get what you're saying.
Yeah, when he went in the ring and sat there and took his hat off and was showing the crowd and waving at the crowd and then
Oh,
saying bye, and he
He
just
did
sat,
say if Vince is gone, he's gone too. So I
Yeah.
don't see him sticking around.
And-
either.
yeah.
and then he sat there in the corner and just kind of was laughing with the crowd and stuff. So I truly think that's it for Brock. I think he's done. All right, so Christy, your thoughts on Lashley in Theory?
Well, I kind of had a feeling Lashley was going to retain because I felt if he did, then it means Theory was going to be cashing in tonight, or that night. Sorry, later on in SummerSlams. But I think Lashley. It's time for him to move on to someone else, and if it's going to be a fatal 4-way Clash of the Castle, hey, why not?
I have that feeling.
Yeah.
I just have that feeling.
I hope your feeling's right.
All right, well, we can definitely go into that next banger of a match that we talked about because I'll tell you, these two teams, whenever they wrestle, they're freaking so good. The Usos and the Street Profits.
So good.
Oh my god! Like
Banger.
I was telling the wife, I was like, I like watch it. These two can wrestle as much as they want. It would never get old. It would seriously never. They are so good. They have such good chemistry that I was like, does this match really have to end? Because it was just so good. I just wanted it to keep going.
I
Like,
did too.
so good. Mess around. Your thoughts?
Oh my God, what a fast-paced match from start to finish. Like, you couldn't blink because if you did, you'd miss something special. It was that
How
good.
about your Dragon Viper?
Oh,
Like, yeah, it's true. I thought like the Street Profits had it when he hit the frog splash, and then they didn't. And then I thought Jeff Jarrett wasn't going to count the 3 when he counted the 3. I thought because it looked like he kind of hesitated when he got the 2.
Yeah.
And then he hit 3, and I was like, oh, I thought he was going to screw the Usos. But I agree with Corey Graves and Michael Cole. Who's going to stop the Usos? They are that good.
Right. They are. But I'll tell you what, though. Like, I give Jeff Jarrett a lot of props because he definitely was that official that's like, hey, I'm not putting up with any crap. So it's a 4 count. I'm going to grab you and drag you away to be like, no, we're not in like this. So he's actually grabbing the Usos and the Street Profits and pulling them away. No, I'm not counting to 5. Stop. It was great.
It was.
His sell job on SmackDown with the super kick was awesome when he like flips completely.
I'll have to watch it. I missed that super kick. I'll have to watch it.
His sell job was
crazy.
so great.
and then he was about to get kicked last night, and he stopped. He like,
Right?
nope.
It was awesome. Chris, your thoughts on this match?
It was a good match. I was hoping for the Street Profits. I picked Usos, but my heart said, hoping for the Street Profits. They deserve it too, but no, I can see that. These teams wrestle any time and in any location, so I'm sure we're gonna get more down the line. We might have to wait a little bit. But.
Yeah, this was one of those matches that during it, I caught myself going, "This is awesome!"
Right?
I was like, "This is awesome!" Because I was like, "Dude, keep going." All right, so Christy, your thoughts?
Really fast paced and really awesome. It's like you said, if you blinked, you missed something. It's super kicks, it's frog splashes, it's it was insane. And Jeff Jarrett did a great job as an official. He was fair the whole time. There's even one point Michael Cole said, "God damn it, count faster!"
No, I thought that was McAfee's match. He said that.
Was it McAfee's match? I
Yeah,
thought it was during this one. I wasn't sure.
It was McAfee's match.
It was just so good.
Which, speaking of that, did you hear the comment that Corey Graves made to Michael Cole?
Mm-mm.
No.
When
I try to
like-
never pay attention to anything Corey Graves
Yeah,
says. I think
when Corey Graves, it was like, I liked it better when you were on a very short leash because back then he couldn't say anything because Vince was always in Michael.
Oh
Cole's
yeah.
Oh,
ear. And Michael Cole's like, well, yeah, but a lot of things have changed now, huh?
right?
I was like, that's awesome.
I got that too. It's like,
That was
Yeah.
awesome.
Burn.
Yes. All right, so Big B, what was your thoughts on this match?
Speaking of opening matches, I mean, this one could have opened up too, but I'm glad they put it where it was at. Like Ace said, I mean, these two could probably fight 3 times in one night, and we'd watch each one of them.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Fight forever.
I mean, they teased breakup, and it didn't happen. Everybody thought maybe the Street Profits. I was with Chris. I picked the Usos, but I was hoping the Street Profits are going to win. Then if they weren't, I was like, okay, they need to break up. Let's try something different, because I think Ford could definitely do his thing singles. Dawkins could probably be a good singles competitor. But yeah, this match was probably a Class A match. And I'll do a quick Viper impression. I went to the bathroom in this match. This match was so. I took a nap quick in this match. I didn't want neither team to win. So.
Oh yeah.
But
Yeah.
I thought the Street Profits intro was interesting. The
with the Titans, yeah.
I will tell you now, though, like my gut feeling is that now that Triple H is running creative, I don't think the Street Profits are going to break up, because I know Triple H likes tag teams. He likes tag teams, and I don't think they're going to break up now. I just don't.
I hope they don't, because they're just too good together. If you split them apart, it's not the same.
I don't think Triple H will pull the trigger on that. I just don't.
No, because there was a statement saying that he's going to focus on winning a good. I read a statement that Triple H said that he's going to focus on getting a better tag team division along with the women's division. So
yeah,
my guess is he's seen how great AEW's tag team division is, and he said, "Oh, really? Well, let's see if I can make our tag team division much better."
And then Warren saying that it was Pat's match and Corey is awesome, and then back and forth mode made the match great. Which, you know what it does when the commentators go back and forth like that, it makes for great matches. But this is like where I don't think a lot of people, if people just started watching wrestling like maybe a year or two ago, they may not understand how good Michael Cole actually is, because he was kind of limited what he was saying and always had Vince in his ear. But now that he doesn't have that now, and he kind of has that free roam to say whatever he wants, I think you're gonna see the actual Michael Cole and what he can actually do as a commentator.
Well, I think that was starting to happen when he got Pat McAfee as his commentary partner, and it just sounds like he was just having a blast. And then you get Vince McMahon out of the way, you put Triple H in there, and you give him pretty much give him free reign. He can really show how awesome he is.
Yeah,
as a commentator.
Definitely. Yeah. All right. We can go into that next one. Heck, we can transition right into the McAfee and Happy Corbin match. There you go. For some reason, though, I don't know why. For some reason, I thought I did pick Theory, or not Theory. Sorry. I did in fact pick McAfee, but for some reason throughout the match, I'm like, I have a sneaky, I thought that Corbin somehow was going to end up winning. I don't know why. I just thought that, I was like, I know in our picks on the poll side, I picked McAfee, but I don't know. Mess around.
Yeah, the match was okay. I mean, I wasn't really impressed with McAfee in this match as I was at WrestleMania. He kind of took a step back in this match. To me, I don't know if he didn't train enough or what, but he just wasn't that impressive. Like, he gets on the ropes and he almost loses his balance before he hits the little flip thing. Right. I'm glad he won though. I mean, I picked him to win, but man, Corbin needs a win in the worst possible way. If anybody needs a win, it's him.
It's Corbin. So Warren Morlow is saying Street Profits finally got a dance partner. He's also saying no more Jordans, Pat. Get wrestling boots. So he's telling him he needs to get the wrestling boots. So,
yeah, that would probably help him when he goes to the top.
Chris, what was your thoughts on McAfee and Happy Corbin?
Oh no, besides the Lesnar, Reigns, I was kind of looking forward to this match. I mean, I thought the opening of it was kind of interesting when he brought in the choir. Pat McAfee did during
Bomb ass
fourth-
Corbin.
Yeah.
I love that. That's cool.
And then you had the dueling commentating from Graves and
Yeah.
Michael Cole, and Michael Cole's like, count faster.
It almost seemed to me like they were setting up a McAfee Graves match, but the way Graves was talking about McAfee during the match,
I noticed that
People,
myself.
well, yeah, people have been talking about that, and people think that maybe because Corey Graves has been cleared, that maybe Survivor Series might be the time to where you might see, Graves versus McAfee
Mhm.
potentially.
I mean,
So, Christy, your thoughts?
I thought it was a pretty fun match. I mean, yeah, I think McAfee needs to ditch the Jordans, sure, because they don't help him at all. But I did notice one thing he did, how he finished the match against Corbin, is he did the Panama Sunrise. That is Adam Cole's finisher. Bye bye, boom.
All right,
But,
Big D.
yeah,
Oh,
him
sorry.
and Graves. I've heard Corey Graves say he has no interest in getting back into the ring. I think it's just been so long since he retired because of concussions and stuff. I don't think something tells me he doesn't want to take a chance. But I did like when McAfee did the whole Generation DX suck it move to him, saying, "Hey, suck it."
Right, that was great. All right, Big B.
Yeah, with you guys, I was kind of looking forward to this match. I didn't expect too much. I mean, McAfee's holding his own. I mean, I just hope this ain't just we're going to see him on pay-per-views. I think we need to see a Raw match here, or a SmackDown match or something in between his performances and at the pay-per-views. Yeah, they've a lot of reports that they're hinting to a McAfee Corey Graves match, but I think Chrissy said it right that I don't think he has a wish to get back in the ring. Maybe not right now. So I don't think we're going to see that match anytime soon. Maybe Rumble, maybe sometime next year. But overall, I thought it was a pretty good match. I mean, McAfee showed that he could punt still, so that was a good one. And
Right.
maybe
I thought he showed that at
maybe he was
WrestleMania
trying to
during his
sign.
entrance.
Maybe he was trying to sign. Show that he can still kick. So he can replace that one kicker that hit the coach in training camp and got cut. So
Yeah, that was kind of funny.
yeah. So
All right. Warren is also saying Graves was a really smart worker when he was wrestling, but Corey
Yep.
is not in any shape to be in the ring.
Yeah.
well, we can ask Carmella that if he's in any shape. I mean,
Right. Warren saying that Corey won't wrestle again.
yeah,
Yeah, that's what he's expressed.
I don't know.
He's
There's the
said he
same
has
thing
no
about
interest
Edge
in
and
getting back in
Daniel
the ring.
Bryan.
Well, but they wanted to. I think the thing that Warren's saying is that Corey doesn't want to. I think that's
Yeah.
the thing. He doesn't want to wrestle anymore.
Okay.
I think
Money
that's
talks.
the difference. All right, so going into our next one, you have the Mysterios versus the Judgment Day, and
Yep.
Edge made
The ratings are.
his return again. That entrance was cool though. That was,
It was
cool.
cool.
That was a
I
pretty.
missed that entrance, so I have to go back and watch it.
Yeah,
That was pretty cool.
great-
I liked it,
great entrance.
but I think we kind of all expected Edge to
Mhm.
Yeah.
interfere in that match.
I mean, even the
What-
video packages they were showing. I mean, just showing the clues like Kurt Angle's gold medal and such. I'm like, this doesn't sound like the Fiend. This sounds like Edge, and it was Edge.
Now I think it's gonna set up for a Edge versus Finn Balor match at
Mhm.
Clash of the Castle.
Yep.
I think you're gonna see Edge versus Finn, and that can be a banger too. That can be a heck of a match. So mess around. Your thoughts on Mysterios and Judgment Day?
What a way to save the match. I mean, you bring Edge out, and I just made the whole match. I wasn't interested in this match because it had Dominic Mysterio. Like, way to drop the ball again. Like, we keep thinking they're going to split up, but I did read that Rey Mysterio had no interest in wrestling a match against his son, so there's that.
Okay.
I mean, it makes sense. All right, Crispy.
No, it was a good match. I figured Mysterio's, we're gonna win this one, but I was kind of going back and forth between Edge and the Fiend because it showed a lot of hints of Edge, but it kind of felt like more of the Fiend to me. But I mean, Edge did return, and I think you'll probably also see Edge maybe pair with the Mysterios.
Maybe. I guess we'll definitely see. All right, Christy.
Not a bad match. Edge coming in with the fiery staircase and everything like that, and helping the Mysterios out. I think I was excited to see him back and cut his hair. Jeez, he's looking good.
The
But
sunglasses
no, it
were
was a-
fire
no, it was a-
too.
No, it was not a bad match. I think you're right on one thing. Ace. This does set up Edge versus Balor at Clash of the Castle, and I think that match would be pretty exciting.
All right, Big B.
Yeah, I mean they're 0 for 2 in the Dominic turn. I think they need to just scrap that idea if it was even in their heads, because
Throw it in the trash.
yeah, because I mean I think it would work, but I mean they keep teasing it and poof, it doesn't happen. So that part I was kind of disappointed in the match. I mean, action wise, it was a good match. Edge showing up was ice on the cake. I will have to go back and watch the entrance because I did miss it because I was at work. But I think we're either on to Edge versus Finn at Clash of Castle, or we're gonna get a new Judgment Day member. We're gonna have a 6-way Edge of the Mysterios versus Judgment Day. So I think somewhere we're gonna get that match at some type of match between them. But overall, I mean, Mysterios win, great, but I think it would have helped the Judgment Day better if we would have got a Judgment Day win and a Mysterio turn. So
I'm with you on that.
Well, Warren saying the match was
Judgment Day had
the match.
potential, but nothing.
Warren saying the match was sloppy on Dominic's end,
Yeah, I agree. It was.
and Edge came back to save it. On
That's what I
Dominic,
was saying.
yeah, because Dominic he's pretty sloppy in the ring. Dominic's pretty sloppy. He's not good.
he does need one of those injuries, so-called, to get him off camera for a while. He does need that.
As soon as Ray hangs him up, Dominic's gonna be the next one fired.
Right?
I don't know.
Yeah, it's not good. It would not shock me though, since Trips is involved. The Trips is like, yeah, this Dominic thing's just not happening. I got to take him off for a while
Yeah, he's got to go.
because we know
It's
that
what's best for business.
his assessment on talent is different than Vince's, and a lot of guys like Triple H, and yeah, so there's a lot of guys who respect his opinions.
And the thing is, guys, if you remember, I was all for Dominic being around and getting the ring,
Mhm.
but it's just not working. I mean, there's moments where it looks like he's catching on, but there's times where it's like, okay, dude, you need to have an injury, be gone for a while, and then come back on NXT or something for a little bit.
Yeah,
Or
like
AEW.
Warren's
I'm
saying.
kind of thinking NXT
Yeah.
might be the best place for him anyway to hopefully train and get better and improve.
Yep. No,
Yeah,
Warren, you're exactly right.
Yeah, which that's what Warren's saying, is that he might send him to NXT and be like, okay, now you got to go reinvent yourself, revamp yourself, get better.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because I know when Dominic first debuted, I know Big B, you were one that's like, give him time, he'll be fine, and and now every week you're like, why is this guy still here? You're like, so
Heck, in our fantasy bookings, I would not book him in. So
right? Right, exactly. I wouldn't book him in that either. All right, so going to the Ronda Rousey and Liv Morgan match.
So disappointed.
You'll see this match again.
Why?
Yeah.
Liv won.
I know. Liv won.
I'm
glad she
disappointed
did.
because they made it look like Liv did not belong in the ring with Rousey. Like, it looked like a squash match. Like, it was bad. They made her look weak.
It was terrible.
Oh, so
Liv
Warren.
deserves better.
So Warren, really quick for Dominic, was like, drop the power rank.
yes,
Yeah.
Yes.
Go Power Rangers for Dominic.
Right.
I mean, I know you grew up watching them, but come on now.
It's like, holy crap, you don't need a wolf like
At
one.
least she didn't come out as a red Power Ranger.
Was there ever a ghost Power Ranger? Because that's what he needs to be. He needs to become a ghost.
No. I know, Dave, you were happy that Liv won. I know you were happy that
I'm happy that she won, but the way that she won, and just the fact that it made her look so weak, like it made her look like she didn't deserve to be champion. She didn't deserve to be in the ring with Rousey, and it was dominated the whole way by Rousey.
Well,
And I know they did that
it
for
came out
reasons
afterwards
because.
too that
Go ahead.
yeah, and I was gonna say, and it came out afterwards too that that they cut the match short. That they made them take like 5 minutes off the match because they were running behind, and so
took a little longer than
they made-
expected.
yeah, so they made them take 5 minutes off the match. It was supposed to be longer, but they had them cut a whole bunch off.
Even though Ronda lost, it still made her look, strong because she tapped out before the 3 count thing,
Yeah,
which, the ref didn't see.
that's why it'll be a controversial thing, and then I
We'll say
think
it again.
but I think this ended up being a triple threat match. I do. I think what happens is
You
I
think
think
Charlotte's going to get in?
I think Charlotte comes back, and I think it ends up being a triple threat match between Charlotte, Ronda, and Liv.
Good.
God, I hope not. Charlotte can stay gone for as long as
No, I don't.
Yeah.
I like that.
No, I mean, it was a good match, majority of it. Liv deserved to win it, but not the way it happened. But I think the original plan was for Ronda to win. I think that was the original plan.
Mhm.
And I think that's probably why Ronda got off Furious too. It's like, okay, she won the first time. I'm supposed to win this time.
All right, Christy.
This match was just painful to watch, and seeing Ronda try and wrench Liv's arm right out of the socket. That was just, it was just so painful. And Liv, yeah, she did tap, but the ref wasn't looking at her tapping. He noticed Ronda's shoulders were down. So yeah, this is going to be controversial, and maybe it might lead to that triple threat you mentioned at Clash of the Castle, Ace. But
So Warren
I
saying
just feel bad for Liv. She deserves better than this.
Ronda planned that match out, and what they were trying to do was have Liv overcome adversity to get fans behind her. Plus, Ronda turning heel makes it easier. And Charlotte, and I agree with that final statement. And Charlotte is the best female wrestler ever. Like,
I'm not disputing that.
I mean,
What
that's
I'm saying is I'm tired of seeing her.
yeah, but
No,
like
Charlotte, no more titles for you.
you really can't dispute how talented she is.
No,
I mean,
nobody
I'm not
is.
disputing that at all. I just tired of seeing her in every title match that's ever gone on.
Yep, me too.
All right, Big B.
I mean, what else is there to say? I mean, we're going to see a match 3 between these guys, possibly a triple threat, maybe Ace, but I think we're going to see, for sure a singles match between these two again. But I really think if Triple H has got control, I think, one, Ronda needs to be a heel, which we saw that happen. 2, she needs a mouthpiece, or they need to team her up with Baszler, and if they're going to bring back the women's title, make them a tag team.
Gonna give Shayna Baszler something to do because she's probably
I think they're
hanging
gonna
out
make it.
catering all this time.
All right.
If it's a singles match, I think it's gonna be an I Quit match.
Yeah.
we already
Yeah,
had
I can see
with
that.
Ronda, though.
But does Liv have a submission move that she uses?
I don't know.
'Cause
No,
normally
I don't know her skill set that well.
I've
so
never-
normally when it's a submission match, they both have a finisher that's a submission. So,
Mhm.
but
Yeah, I've
Well, I know
never
Ronda
seen
has
her
an
use
armbar,
the submission.
obviously.
But we can definitely go into that main event, man.
Yeah.
Woo,
Wait, before
man,
that,
that
we
main
saw-
event.
Before
Man,
that,
I'll
we
tell you
saw
what.
Seth Rollins, though.
This
Fire.
is probably the best Brock Lesnar Roman Reigns match that I have ever seen. This match was
The tractor.
Hold on,
man.
let me go
This,
get my tractor. Hold on.
This match was
Yeah.
this match was insane.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, oh my god, this match was crazy. There was like so many times that I was like, maybe Brock can win, because there was a few times I'm like, maybe he can, and then at the end when I was like, oh, okay, Roman's gonna win, I was like, but they were gonna make Brock look really, really strong, and that's what they did. I mean, they made Brock look really strong at the end too, which I thought was great. But I definitely give kudos, because like this match, if personally the match over delivered, it was so good.
Oh yeah.
It was such a good match. I don't think people were expecting it to be this good, and it was excellent. Mess around.
Man, from start to finish, you talk about Brock coming out and getting in that tracker, driving it down to the ring, putting it up, getting on it, jumping off and attacking Reigns, start the match, to at the end when he got it and pushed the ring back. And I told you before the match, I messaged you, I said, since the Usos won the title, Reigns isn't going to lose. I just had that feeling since the Usos still had the tag titles. And I was right, but still, what a freaking phenomenal match. Like, match of the year. Give him that title already, because that's it.
Yeah,
I mean, they had to stack everything on top of him. Reigns stood on top of him at the end, and the Usos got involved. You got Theory with the potential cash in, comes down, tries to cash in, but he didn't get to. It was just great all around. Like, I could talk about this match forever.
oh yeah. Like, I thought it was funny when Theory came down and attacked Roman, and then Brock's like, nope, and then he attacks Theory, and I was like,
screw your cash in, dude.
awesome. I was like, that was awesome. He's like, no, you're not cashing in.
It's like, screw
I was like, that was
get it.
awesome. That was great. So it's like Warren said, he's like, Ace, I told you this was gonna live up to the hype, which we had talked about it before, and Warren's like, no, it'll be a great match, and I'm like, well, I really hope it is, and I don't think people were quite sure, and then it definitely delivered. So, Crispy.
Nah. It was a good match. I mean, really good.
A good match? Like, this was an outstanding match.
Dragon Viper 2.0.
I was like,
I said
dang.
it was a good
Come on,
match.
Dragon Viper. You can do better.
Thanks.
I said it was a good match. It was a really good match.
Oh, okay.
But, no, I mean, when Clash at the Castle came out, it showed Roman and Drew. We kind of figured out that would be the setup. And that's how I figured, too, Roman wasn't going to win this, because it was going to lead up to that matchup. Now with, Theory, I figured he was going to attempt to cash in. Well, he almost did, and then Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar knocked him out cold. It was a partial, I guess, success, but I just had a feeling Roman was still going to retain.
Yeah, and you know what? It actually would not shock me. I do agree with Warren on this. It would actually not shock me if Drew McIntyre actually wins,
And Theory cashes in.
because he has
Yes,
not
that.
because he has not faced Roman yet, and I think that they're like, hey, let's save this match until then, and then and Drew can win, because that is like one guy that you're like, okay, Drew can beat him, and then
I
afterwards.
don't know about that.
I think you're right about that, because months ago it was advertised that Drew was supposed to face Reigns, and it never happened.
Yeah,
Oh, that's right. And
it was supposed to happen at if I remember
day
right,
one, wasn't it?
yeah. It was supposed to happen at day
no,
one.
that was Brock.
Oh,
That was Brock and Roman at day one.
yeah.
No, Hell in a Cell.
Okay. That was the one.
One of the matches, I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
somewhere.
I have no
yeah, they
idea.
were supposed to face off at Hell in a Cell, and then it was supposed to be Roman and Riddle at Money in the Bank, and then Randy and Roman at
It's
SummerSlam.
SummerSlam. Yeah.
Yeah, but injuries have just completely changed everything around, and also the change in leadership and creative with
Yeah.
Triple
Yeah.
H.
But I definitely. All right, Christy, your thoughts.
Oh my god. What can I say about this match that hasn't already been said? It over delivered. It was a banger. It was on fire. There was a tractor. It got used as a weapon. As soon as I saw it, I'm thinking, what are the odds that this tractor is going to get used as a weapon? And it was, because Brock tried to lift the ring up, and Roman comes tumbling out of the ring. There was like Roman's using the belts to knock Brock out. He's using the money bag briefcase to knock Brock out, and then he's like, screw it, and then starts piling everything on top of Brock so he can't get up. And then Theory tries cashing in and all that other stuff, and oh my god. I can't add any more to this. This match was so damn good.
Big B?
Boring. This match. No, I'm just kidding. No, this match. I honestly didn't know what to really expect. I mean, especially when the tractor came out, I'm just like, okay, what are we going to do with this? And then he lifts up the ring. So to me, I'm thinking, okay, we're going to have some kind of new ring attire, I think, come Raw, because typically that's what they do when they want to change something up. They destroy what they had. So it would not shock me if we see some kind of different ring setup tomorrow, different colors or something, or different schemes on there.
Just bolt the ring down.
But definitely the match was definitely better than I thought it was going to be. Ace, I thought you were going to nail it. I thought for sure we were going to get the double count.
Dude.
I know. I
was right there too.
I was thinking, was it double count? Not going to happen.
Yeah,
I thought for sure it was going to be like 8, 9, and then Theory's music hits, and then they start the count over, and he wins it. Then there was part of me too when they're outside the ring, and Theory's, they kept showing a close up of Roman Reigns leaning on the corner post while they're counting. I'm like, okay, this is where Theory's going to roll him up. He's going to win the titles on a roll up, and I'm waiting for it. I'm sitting in my office. I'm like, oh, come on, roll him up. And it didn't happen. I'm like, okay, he's not cashing in. There's no way. And then when they threw everything on top of Brock, I'm like, they can't end this way, even though it was a cool ending.
Yeah.
I'm like, Brock's going to lift everything off of him, and yeah. So, but I know Ace kind of talked about it earlier. I do agree with you. I think it is Brock's last ride for a while. I think I won't say it's going to be the end of the end, because as we know and saw today, I mean, Flair finally calls it quits. But but I think we might see Brock again down the road. But I think he's done for 2022, maybe 2023. So. But great way to end it. But I was so thinking, Ace, you nailed it. And then I was thinking, okay, we're going to get a roll up here. But like Dragon Viper said, once the Usos won, I think it was kind of a forgiven, or not a shocker that
Dragon Viper, I'm not Dragon Viper.
Don't you mean mess around?
Yeah,
did I say Viper? I said Viper.
I was watching. When I was watching it and Theory's music hits, I was looking at the wife and I was like, okay, if he comes down and wins this on a count out, I was like, I better go buy a lottery ticket after this, because I was like, I would have hit this nail right on the head, and I would have been like, oh my god, you gotta be kidding me. I would be like, yeah, I'm going to buy this freaking ticket right now.
I would have sent you one.
I was like, I got to do this because it's right on the head. But yeah, so I do want to say, if this is it for Brock, I will say there will never be another Brock. There's only one Brock. There will always be one Brock, and Brock is Brock, and he's been one of my favorite of all times. That will probably never end.
He does what he wants.
I really hope to see him again. And if we do, it probably won't be for a long time. You could just tell by the way that it was going out after the match that I feel like this is probably it.
The only thing this match was missing? Hay bales.
Hay bales, right?
Yeah. I thought you were going to say Sable.
Oh, God.
No. Hay bales.
Would it actually surprise you, though, if they offered Brock just a bunch of money to come back and be like, hey, can you just give a retirement speech in the ring, just come back and say bye to everybody and just
I can see that.
know
That's
that
I can see that happening.
Yeah.
that you're done, and I could see Brock being like, yeah, that's it, I'm done. I'm
And then
gonna walk
Roman
away.
spears him.
So
At the end, Roman spears him,
no, I don't.
No.
I don't think they would
or
do
just
that.
attempts
No.
to. He's like, "Nah, I'm just playing."
Sorry.
No, I definitely think though that will definitely like. I could see that happening if Brock's gonna retire. I could see him being like, "Come out and just give a speech. Just let everybody know that this is gonna be it." So then everybody can do that. Thank you, Brock.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I tell you what, though, if his boy keeps growing, I've been seeing pictures, man.
dude, his boy's huge.
If he doesn't have a career in football, he's definitely going to be in the WWE or AEW or somewhere. So
Or MMA or something.
Right. Well, that's pretty much all we have for you. So, mess around. What's your final thoughts?
My final thoughts is I can't wait for Raw tomorrow to really see Triple H and Stephanie's stamp on where things are going because it's only going to get better from here.
All right, Crispy.
I didn't see it, but I saw pictures of it when Seth Rollins ran down to the ring,
Oh,
or
yeah.
Riddle was
Yeah.
out there
Yeah.
calling him
Riddle,
out.
you maniac.
Yeah. But no, it was a good pay-per-view, and I'm excited to see what Triple H and Steph have in store. This is going to be their first official show after a pay-per-view, so we'll see how it builds up, if there's any more rematches or a lot of rematches.
Well, this will technically be Triple H's first actual show of being full creative control,
Right.
to where nothing will actually be planned out.
That's what I mean, yeah.
Yeah. So, Christy, any final thoughts?
Just SummerSlam was just a really good pay-per-view, and yeah, looking forward to Monday and seeing how everything goes now that Triple H is in charge.
All right, and then Big B, how about you?
Overall, SummerSlam probably might have been the best pay-per-view they put on this year. Outcomes, I think we kind of all knew what was going to happen. Nothing really shocked except for the women coming out, but Monday definitely going to be a new era in wrestling. And for all the haters out there that are like, oh, it's the same WWE after a week, just remember, Rome wasn't built in a day. WWF, WWE wasn't built in a day under Vince McMahon. It took a long time. So we're going to see a lot of changes between Steph, Triple H, that we probably haven't seen before. We might even go back to the old school era. Who knows? So
We'll see.
changes are coming.
It's going to take time. It's exactly like you said. It's not going to be the first month and everything's going to be changed. They're going to gradually get things into place to where they need to be.
Yep.
So,
We're going to mend. Triple H has already said he's going to go out and mend some wrongs and make them right. So we'll see what happens.
And he's also reached out to multiple, to all the talent and said, hey, I want everybody's input on what they want to do. I want to hear from everybody. This is not just going to be me. This is going to be a team effort to figure out what everybody wants. So to me, that almost sounds like a little bit of maybe some.
Heck, my phone even rang and Triple H said, "Oh, sorry, wrong number." So he's calling everybody. So
yeah, so I was gonna say maybe this sounds like a little bit of maybe some freedom of control right here too. Might sound a little bit like it by putting in some input from other people, but we definitely want to thank everybody for watching this other episode of Between the Ropes, and you'll definitely see us next week for another episode of Between the Ropes. Everybody have a fantastic night.